Hey everybody, welcome back to Stamping School. Oh my gosh, there's good stuff coming on July 3rd. So Stampin' Up! Is releasing a bunch of new online extras. So one of them is this one called Changing Leaves, which I have a lot of leaves, I do, but this time, you know, it's a hybrid embossing folder with the dies that match the folder, so I had to do that. So there's a whole bunch of things coming, including a lot of holiday that's coming just for like extra online stuff. They're not in a catalog or anything. Like I bought 2 of them for on our pre-order as demonstrators. I bought another sled set, and I have one from a long time ago, but this one has a smaller set of skates and some really cool dies. And I think it's going to be really fun. So there's a bunch of things coming. I'll post everything on July 3rd, but I wanted to give you a little project for these. These are, you know, originally you think it's just for fall, but it really isn't. So you can buy just the stamp set, or you can buy just the dies and folder together as a bundle, or you can buy the whole thing. So of course I did the whole thing because this one I really liked the stamps and the images. So, and these are the folders that the dies fit into, and you cut and score all at once, okay? So it's pretty cool. I'll show you how all that works. And they fit inside there, and I'll show you how to do that. There's different dies. There's some sentiments that are a little different right here, and just some more leaves and things. This is one of the samples that Stampin' Up! Did. Can you see in the back? Let's see, I think you can see, it's kind of bright. But I embossed the panel in white, and they did Pool Party, Misty Moonlight, and Petal Pink. And I just did this one first. A lot of times I'll copy their sample right away just to kind of get a feel for the bundle. So this one, I didn't even use the embossing folder. I found this was just the easiest way to do it. So I stamped Pool Party on Pool Party right here, and we can line that up. This is how I cut it. Now, there are other ways and tricks, but when you just want to get something done kind of quickly, so you can use some painter's tape, or you can use washi tape or something like I'm doing right now. So I did a little washi tape here. What I did is I stamped them on their colors and just trimmed loosely so I could kind of just put them under like this, and I cut them all at once. So instead of running it through the machine 3 times, you know, all separately, I just taped them all together like this and then ran them all at once because I love to save a little bit of time. So that's what I did. So I cut them all out at once, just one pass, and then I popped them up on the card. And they had done this on a white card. I did it on the new Basic Beige, and Basic Beige as a background, and then they had stamped this right here, a little note to brighten your day. That's another thing I liked about this set is I didn't have these sentiments. You are amazing, which we have a lot of, but you are amazing in every single way. I couldn't have done it without you. Here for you, a teeny little thing, and then a little note to brighten your day. I didn't have that yet, and I've got a lot of stamps, so I thought that was good. So that's the one I started with. Then I went and embossed it. So this is the embossing folder just by itself. It's a 3D folder, so it's one of the thick ones. But look how gorgeous. It's got so much texture in all the leaves. Some of them are kind of polka dotted, and then some of them are, you know, have just the veins. It's a gorgeous folder just by itself. It's just so deep and nice. I really liked it. Then I ran it through in gold foil, and I did the cutting and the embossing with the gold foil. I have a wedding coming up, and I know her color is navy, so I wanted to do a quick card like this. So I took a piece of the gold foil, and I'm gonna take the dies. Now the dies fit in on the side that the logo is on, and they just sort of, you'll feel it. You wanna put the cutting side up, okay? So that's the regular side, and the cutting side has the ridge to it. And it's only gonna fit one way anyway, okay? So you stick that in there, and then you put your foil on. Now I like to put the foil side down, like that, and close it, and then I can run it through the machine, right? Now on the next card that I'm gonna show you, I'll show you how to run it through and what plate to use, but for now we'll keep it simple. And look how pretty, oh, it's just so gorgeous. It cuts so nicely. So you cut and emboss all at the same time, all right? So here's your gold, and they have that pattern on them now. So you could just cut them out plain, but that pattern is just so gorgeous. All right, so then I thought, well, let's do something with that. So I was like, well, I can't let that go to waste, right? So I made a big 6x6 card. I cut this down to about 5.5. And then what I did was I put white underneath it, and I literally stamped right through it, which it actually came out okay. So I inked this up. So I glued it down to the white, and I inked my stamp up, and I went right over top, lined it up, and stamped it, and it worked on all three of them. So I stamped right into it. So now you could stamp it, trim it out, and just kind of position them behind it, but it worked out really well. So this is kind of a real big card, but I really liked it. So I just stamped them all in shaded spruce, and I did a little coloring with the light shaded spruce marker. So I like how that one came out too. So that way you're not wasting anything. So you've got this one with the leaves and this one with the relief on it. On the inside of this one, this is a pocket for a gift card, and then just I added one of the leaves in there, so I'll put my gift card and be able to write my note there. Then I started thinking, well, let's do something with designer paper and maybe something a little more earthy, but just something a little different. Now this one is a 5x5 card. Now I know some of you don't like to do square cards because they are more costly to mail. However, a 5x7 envelope will still fit, and it'll just take one stamp, and it just counts as regular first class mail. Now what I would do is put just one more little piece of scrap cardstock in here to give it a little stability. So I would put in, you know, a 5x7 piece of something, nothing that's going to raise it over an ounce, but even if it did, it's still a lot cheaper because this is 5x5, so you can still mail it, but just do it in a 5x7 and just put a little something in there. So this one, I'm doing some embedding on it. So these images are from the designer paper and are embedded into the paper. So I'm using that really pretty nature paper, Thoughtful Journey. We have so many of them now, and there's more coming, and we're gonna have some really pretty fall ones coming out too in the holiday catalog. But I wanted to do a little different color palette and try it on white instead. So I thought I would do this one with Pretty Peacock and see how that looked. I feel like I have to explain my nails. I know they're glittery red. We had a Wizard of Oz escape room type event. It was in downtown Asheville in North Carolina, and it was sort of like a scavenger hunt. It was all outside, so I had my glittery red shoes and I had to have glittery red nails. So I thought I feel probably should explain that since it seems very holiday-ish, but you know, the nails had to match the shoes for Dorothy. So I've embossed a 5x5 card, and I just ran it through, embossed the whole thing. Even by itself white, it's just so pretty. All right, so to cut these though, these are both 6x6. If you wanted to save on paper, you could go 5.5, but you just want to make sure whatever circle size you're doing or whatever you're doing for square or whatever it is, that it's gonna fit. I'm gonna do 2 6x6s. I'm gonna bring in my folder, open it up, and I'm gonna put in my dies on the part. This is the one that says Stampin' Up. Find where they go, and you'll feel it. They'll snap in, basically. There, and then they won't move. You feel it. It just snaps right into those 3 designs. And I'm gonna put the designer paper and the cardstock together on top and cut them both at once. Because it's not that thick, the designer paper is pretty thin. Okay, so the pattern size, the side that's up, that's the side I want. Now I'm gonna bring in my machine. Whether you have a Big Shot or the new Stampin' emboss machine or whatever, you're just gonna want your platform, and I can't account for all the machines out there, but just the number one, just your platform. We're gonna not use this number 2 because it's too thick. We're gonna not use that for the 3D and folders. And then I always put the crease through this way. And then you need either the number 4, that's for the big thick embossing folders, or if you have one of these jewel tone ones from when we had the Big Shot, that works also. That's the same thing. And then we're gonna run that through and cut them together. It's tight, but it's gonna roll through. It's gonna make a popping noise at the end. There it is, because it's so thick. Now we can save the relief for something else if we want to, but you're gonna carefully get all those out. Now you could just emboss this and then just glue these directly on top, but there's something special about the inlaid technique. Now watch this little guy right here. I had a hard time with him. There's a teeny little one that should come out with it right there in between that leaf. You want to make sure that stays in there. If it doesn't, I have a tip for that. You can just take another piece of cardstock and glue it behind it. That peacock was a little bit harder than the black cardstock to get that out. So maybe run it through and just, you might have to run it through again. But no, it came out okay. It just, whew. All right, now flip it upside down and put those in. The reason you want to do that is you want to get these lined up and tape them on, because what we're going for is to get it cut like this all together and kind of get that inlaid look. So turn it over and tape them in right there. Now you see right there how that's a little bit of the white is showing? Right there, where I accidentally pulled out the blue. If you just take a little bit of blue cardstock, the same blue, and just cover that, no one's gonna see it. But these go in upside down, but look how pretty they are. Oh, I just love them. I can embed them right back in there again. Just cover them. I'm just using Scotch tape, so some kind of tape, just to make sure that stays. And here's that, I'm gonna cover that up because that's where I had my little hole and I don't want it to show. Okay, at this point, now we can cut whatever shape we want to. I'm using a large deckled circle because it's gonna fit the 5x5 card nicely. These deckled circles, they even go one larger than this one. So find whatever looks good to you. You know, I just sort of pick the best areas, how I want it to look. And then I'll just run that through the machine and cut it. When you cut it too, kind of squishes it all together, which is nice. And then cut that apart. So, and there's my 5x5 white card. And I could pop that up with dimensionals, and I can add a little sentiment on there. This is the one that comes with it, or I was thinking about trimming that down and making it a banner like I did on the other one. So I'm gonna just trim that off, come up the center and make a little banner. So now this one takes quite a bit longer, this card, but if you want to do something special and different, and if you're feeling kind of technique-y, this is a fun one. Okay, pop all that up on dimensionals, and then I can add my sequins and everything. Now I could add ribbon or something, but I think I like it just plain. I just need some sequins on here. But you can see on this one I just did some black twine. I kind of like the natural one better. I thought I'd like the blue one, but I think I kind of like this one. I think I like the natural one better. Also played around with doing a blue one. This one is Misty Moonlight with pinks and blues. You can tell on that side. They're just fun to play with, that's all. So I think this is going to be a great bundle. I think it's going to be great for fall, but like I said, it's also great for all sorts of other things. I really enjoyed playing with it. And the one that Stampin' Up! Made, created, I think that one is like one of my favorites. So I say this is a win. This is a thumbs up. So I'll post everything on July 3rd. It's also going to be bonus days. So when you spend $50, you get a $5 coupon back. during the month of July to use in August. So hold off till July 3rd before buying anything big because bonus days are coming. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.